Okay, so welcome to this first real class in the beginner's course. I'm here with Michaela Jakteg, one of the biggest female kizomba stars. And yes, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So this is something that I do in pretty much every place I go. The first thing is to talk about the basic rules for leading and following. I always say kizomba is very, very easy. Why? Because it's logical. It's basically physics in a way. I stand in front of my partner, I transfer the weight, and I transfer the weight. She transfers with my body. I walk forward, and she walks back. I walk back, and she walks forward. She has a center, and I place my hand on one side. I pull or turn, she turns. Other side, she turns. It's just as if I had... Like if I would pull this one and try to turn it, it's heavy, but one side and I turn, it will turn. It's the same if you relax your mind. But it can also be very difficult because it needs to be very precise. So if I step this big or this big makes a difference. If I step and place my foot like this or like this, it can make a difference for leading and following and for connection. But there are some rules to follow to make it easier. And of course, one of the most important things, first, before you start talking about the technical rules, is to have a good position. And the first is try to stand in front of your partner, connection in upper body. You put your right arm around her waist, a bit somewhere in the mid-back, where it feels more comfortable. Yes? Ladies, place your hand somewhere below the neck of the guy. And rest your arm so that it's a comfortable position for your arm here.
But ladies, remember to not put weight on your arm.
And then the head, you don't need to have connection. You can have connection, but if you have connection, it's where it's natural to meet. It's not forced here. It's just a natural position. But ladies, place you grab around the base of the thumb, and guys, you close your hand. The hand stays somewhere in the middle between your shoulders, not here because it's uncomfortable, and not too much back or too much up or too much down. Somewhere shoulder height and between the shoulders is comfortable, okay? The toes of the right foot are between your partner's toes. And you try to stand on the front of your foot, not on the heel, because when you stand on the heel, you will feel a bit heavy and it's not going to be proper balance. So stand on the front of the foot and keep your own balance connected with the chest. Yes? So this is the basic position.
So for the ladies, like Christopher said, we have connection with the chest. So remember to straighten your legs because we don't want to bend and get connection with our legs.
Yes.
So up.
So in front of your partner, try to keep your feet together as much as possible. When you walk, try to walk on a line so that you don't step with your feet separate like this. This is not a normal way to walk because you're falling and you're falling a little bit. You need to be stepping as you normally would on a line.
And it's the same for
yes.
the ladies. We don't walk like this.
Yes.
Keep your legs together.
Also, the shuffle step in Virgula and Retrocesso, which we will go through later, also always together. In general, keep your feet as much as possible under your body. So here is a good position for dancing. The more you open, the less flexible you become. This is a position that is good for martial arts. If you're a sumo wrestler, you start here because you're difficult to move. If you want to... Now my pants went up. So for dancing, you want to keep a small base so that you're easy to move. As a follower, it's super important to be easy to move. Yes. To be a light follower, you need to keep your feet together and not take too big steps. Yes? So, don't bend your knees, as you mentioned. Don't lift your feet too much, because when you lift, you take longer time with your step than if you slide them on the floor.
Yes.
So, don't bend too much. Don't lift. You need to bend, you have a little bit bent if you dance the kizomba, where you transfer the weight more. Well, later in the courses when we do fusion, then we will need to have more straight legs. So try to step also with the ball of the foot first. So you step with the ball, the front of the foot first, and then the whole foot. If you do side basic, ball of the foot first, forward, ball of the foot first. This makes you flexible and fast. If you step with the heel first, you become very slow and heavy, and you have no suspension in your feet with the heel. Also, of course, because it's an African dance, it's very connected to the ground, so you slide your feet on the floor as much as possible. No lift, just keep them close to the ground as much as you can. When you dance with your partner, later on we will start doing moves where we move not in front of each other but to the side and so on. Then it's important to stay close to your partner. So if I do what we call a main saida, I stay close to Michaela. We have connection in the chest, but I also have connection in the thigh here, so that we are both in balance. If I would be a little bit too far away, you can see that she is not in balance, and it will be, we lose our axis, and it's going to be heavy, and you need to contract your muscles to compensate, and so on. So stay close to your partner, and turn your toes of the inner leg a little bit towards your partner. You see my foot is a little bit towards Michaela, so that way I can keep more connection, I can turn my body towards her. If my toes are forward, it's a bit strange, this position, and I lose my balance. So it's the same for ladies. In Lady Saida, keep close to your partner and turn your toes a little bit towards your partner. So those were the rules for leaders and followers. Now it's only for the leaders. First of all, we lead with the body weight transfer. Yeah? We lead with our torso, we lead with the frame, and we lead with the right hand. So I have my hand here in her back, and I turn it in different directions, which gives her the impulse to turn in different directions. She is all the time listening to the direction of my hand in the back. So we lead with the right, and I can do pretty much anything with my right hand. The left, we don't lead with the left because it doesn't work. This is like trying to lead with a cable to the TV or something. It doesn't work. So no pushing and pulling with the left. This one is only for sending signals about tension and blocks and helping with pivots, etc. So I can use it to do a block. I give tension, she responds with tension. But no leading in your left. Sometimes we can lead with our legs. Sometimes we can also lead with our feet, but it's really just an illusion. It's not the foot that is leading. We will talk about it in later classes in the intermediate level, but it's an illusion to create a visual effect, to make it look nicer. The leading is in upper body. The foot is just pretending to slide her foot. Yes. Okay, so those were the rules for guys. Now for the girls, the first rule is this. The first rule, try to turn off. I'm not saying that you shouldn't think or focus. You need to focus all the time. Yeah. You need to focus on the tension in the frame, the direction of the hand in the back, the intention, the size of steps. But don't try to guess what is going to happen. Don't think, yes, I know, Lady Saida. You need to focus all the time on these things. To don't distract yourself with guessing moves. Just focus on the input every time, all the time. What is the signal? The second rule is this. Follow the chest. So if I walk back, she needs to follow my chest. I walk forward, of course, she will step back. And this makes everything easier. If I have to carry her forward or carry her with me when I walk back, it's going to be very heavy for me. So I want her to follow my chest when I walk back. And it becomes easier if she also keeps close to my right leg. Because my right leg is with my right foot is between her feet. So if she follows this leg close to my leg, it will be easier for her to keep the line. So switch off, follow the chest, follow the right leg. Also, try to step just a millisecond after the guy. If you step before, first of all, if she steps now and I step, I can step on her. It's not good. Yeah?
Yeah.
If she steps too early, if she steps before me here, she doesn't know how big step I'm going to take. So if she waits just a millisecond after me, she knows the size of step I'm going to take. And it's going to be much easier for her to really find balance for us as a couple.
Exactly.
And I will not step on her when I walk forward and so on. So just a millisecond after the guy, and balance every step. The most important thing for you is to find balance. If you don't find balance, it will feel very heavy because you will rely on your partner.
Exactly. So ladies, always have your own weights.
Yes. Okay, so when you feel tension or pressure, you try to respond with tension again. So if I give tension in my frame, she responds with some tension in the frame. We will need it to do blocks and syncopations and so on later on. And this tension is more important for fusion and urban kiss. Also, when I give tension, or what happens in upper body, needs to go straight down to the feet. So if I do touch here, touch, touch, pam, 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 my leading goes straight down to her feet. There's not a delay like a spaghetti wave here. It needs to be like this when I have this tension, when I activate the core. Yeah. And she activates the core all the way down to the feet. Try to give some connection back when the guy is searching for connection. In later classes, when we work with slides, for example, you need to give some connection back to the foot. So this is also a rule. Try to respond. If you feel that the guy is searching for connection, you give connection back. But also, when guys need space in life and in dance, you give them space. So here I do a slide. I need to create space before to transfer her weight back. 1, 2. If she is like a koala bear around my neck here, I will not get the space that I need. So give the guy space in dance and in life. When we open up from a closed position to an open position, try to keep connection with the arm here. Because here you have a lot of information. First of all, if you keep your hand around his neck, he might feel that you're pulling him when we move around. So slide down. Here also, more information. If you have your arm up like this, you miss out on all this information. So try to keep the connection. And when we come back, you slide a little bit up again. So you slide with the hand up a little bit closer to below the neck. Another thing that is important, not as much for the dance, but for the connection, is your head. So try to keep your head more or less where your body is pointing. If you dance, it happens that you dance with the girl and she dances like this. It's not, you don't have a connection, and sometimes if they move the head really, really much, it can actually affect the balance a little bit. Yeah. So the head more or less facing forward. You don't need to stand looking into your partner's eyes, but like this, and you turn a little bit. And now we're looking a little bit into the camera. But if we dance normally, we would have our face more or less where the body is pointing, and not like this.
Exactly.
And the last rule: don't look down, because if we look down on the floor, we do not keep an eye on what is happening around us on the dance floor. We are looking and focusing down here, and we might bump into people as a leader. As a follower, as soon as you look down, you don't pay as much attention to what is happening with the lead, but you get rather stressed with what is happening with the feet of the guy. So if you want to keep your mind focused on the lead, the actual lead in upper body, don't look down, because you get confused. You get signals from the feet, visual information, when you should be focusing on the lead with the body.
And it's also affecting your posture. So when you're here, yes, you're not as...
you don't keep your axis the same way. You lose, and when you bend forward a little bit, you start... if you just try this, and you bend forward, you can feel the muscles in your back contracting immediately. And that makes you tired when you dance. So really try to keep your eyes up, more or less. Those were the basic rules for leading and following. Make sure to take a look on these rules once in a while. There are a lot of things that you can improve if you really follow all these rules. For
Exactly.
most people,
Yeah.
I would say.
And for ladies, it's not just about following. You see all the points that Christopher has for the ladies. We need to work too, and we need to think about what we're doing.
Yes. So that's it for leading and following the rules. We move on to the next class.